everyone, it's Nina and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we could do kind of like a sequel to my fall bucket list video. I had a lot of fun coming up with ideas for things to include in that bucket list that I thought I would kind of keep the ball rolling and move on to one for winter. In terms of like coming up with ideas for this list, I wanted to talk about like kind of how I associate winter. For me, winter I feel like is a season that's marked by a lot of like long nights, the cold, staying indoors, and for many, a lot of seasonal depression. I feel like once Christmas and New Year passed, it can feel very bleak, as we basically have to wait 3 months for the weather to become hospitable again. So as a way to combat that, I kind of focused this list around the concept of practicing hygge, which if you don't know is kind of like a Scandinavian, Norwegian concept that focuses on warmth, low lights, creature comforts, and feeling satisfied in your surroundings. I feel like it's also tied to ideas of like unplugging and spending time with the people you love. I feel like this just naturally fits very well to be associated with winter, not only because of the holidays, but just like the general associations of trying to combat the coldness outside by bringing the warmth into your home. Anyway, with those principles in mind, here are a list of my activities and events you can do in the winter. I have 3 different categories that we're going to be going through. The first one is my crafty/creative category. The first one on this list is making a gingerbread house. I had never made one of these until like 2020, but it's a tradition I've now picked up and I think it's really fun and a great activity to do with friends. I've also done this remotely where like I have a Zoom call with some long distance friends where we all get gingerbread kits and have a call and then make them together. A similar thing you can make is to make Christmas cookies. This is a tradition that I've kind of taken over from my childhood. I have a lot of fond memories of making cookies with my family for like pretty much every holiday. But nowadays, as an adult, it's mostly just around Christmas time. And I definitely want to do that again this year. And I also would like to be able to send some cookies in the mail to friends. I think it's a really cute idea if you have a long distance friend for you each to make cookies and then mail them to each other. I feel like it's a lot more personal than just like sending them a gift through a online store to their address. And instead it kind of like becomes an exchange of both of like your upbringings, your family traditions. If I can find it, I'll also link the gingerbread cookie recipe that I've used for the last 3 years. I can't say necessarily taste-wise if it's any better than any other gingerbread cookie recipe you could find, but I personally really like it and I feel like it's turned out pretty well, so I probably will use it again this year. Okay, another thing you can cook that is slightly on the easier side is to make sort of like a fancy hot chocolate. This can be as simple as just getting like a hot chocolate bomb or like one of those like huge marshmallow toppers, or just like putting a candy cane and some whipped cream on top. Another fun craft I think that would be great to start this year is to learn how to knit or crochet. This for me seems like the perfect wintertime craft. Also, this is a good time of year to ask for a like knitting or crochet kit around the holidays so you can have it to work on for the rest of the winter months. The next activity is to decorate for Christmas, either with a tree or with other seasonal decor. And kind of going along with that is to DIY some holiday decor. This is something I used to do a lot more, and honestly, I definitely need to get back into it. There's a lot of elements I would like to add to my holiday decor that I honestly just haven't found from like a major online store that I would love to add to my collection, so I might have to DIY a couple of them this year. And the last crafty activity is to send out holiday cards. We've always done a like big themed cosplay photo shoot for our Christmas cards, but you don't have to get that elaborate. You can also just like dress cute and take photos with your family and then use like any old template from Zazzle or Vistaprint. We just like going the extra mile because it kind of becomes a way for us to sort of track the years and see which series we were really hyper fixated on, because that usually is the topic of our holiday card. Okay, now let's move on to the next category, which is upping the ambiance. And these ones are all pretty self-explanatory. The first one is to watch a classic Christmas movie. What becomes a classic in your eyes, I think, will be determined based on your own upbringing and what movies you always had on repeat as a kid. There definitely were quite a few Christmas ones that I watched pretty much every Christmas as a kid and young adult. Another activity is to get matching PJs for you and your significant other. I feel like the PJ set as a Christmas gift tradition is so cute. And I feel like getting ones that match your partner just like takes it to another level. I actually already have one set of matching pajamas with my wife, but I'm definitely interested in getting another set in the future as well. Another fun at-home activity is to have a cozy self-care night at home. Another way to add kind of like the winter ambiance is to put on like vintage holiday music or one of those like kind of like jazz ambiance videos on your computer or smart TV. Or alternatively, to have a Yule-log video playing. I feel like if you live in an apartment, you probably don't have access to a fireplace. So this is a good alternative to get that ambiance of a warm, festive feeling around your whole home. And the last ambiance focus activity is to get cozy and read a book. I feel like as the nights get longer and colder outside, There's nothing better than snuggling up on your couch or big chair with a hot beverage and a blanket and reading a nice book. Okay, now let's move on to the last category, which is focused on going out. The first one is to go out and see Christmas lights. If you live in a big city, there might be like a big Christmas display somewhere, or you can find one of those like drive-through light displays. Another activity if you live in a bigger city is to find a Christmas market. I famously always knew about the big Christmas market that happens in Chicago, but also last year I went to one that was in the city that I live in. So I feel like probably most major metropolitan areas have some type of Christmas village or some other type of like market or tree lighting event that they will only have around Christmas time. So this is a great event to attend during the season. The next activity is to go skiing or snowboarding or ice skating. The first two I think do require access for you to be able to go into like a more mountainous area at some type of resort that's really focused on skiing or snowboarding. But for ice skating, I think that there are a lot of like hockey rinks, even in small towns that have free skate if you're interested in doing that. The next activity I have is to see a play, a musical, or a ballet. I feel like this particular topic is another thing I really heavily associate with Christmas time because as a kid, I would always go see the Nutcracker Ballet every year. I also feel like this activity has somewhat of a like old-timey flavor to it. And I feel like maybe just because of like my childhood association with like the Christmas Carol and Charles Dickens, that Christmas kind of has an underlying association for me with like the Victorian era. I don't know, it just feels right to go see a like play or musical or ballet around the Christmas season. And the last activity I wanted to talk about is actually about New Year's, and that is either hosting or going to a New Year's party. And I would say your New Year's party doesn't even have to be exactly on New Year's. I remember as a child, my parents would take me to their friends' New Year's parties that were usually like a day or two before New Year's, just kind of in that limbo period when a lot of people have off work between Christmas and New Year's. Or you could have your party on New Year's and like watch the feed of the ball dropping and counting down the minutes until the new year. I think it's really fun. I've had a couple New Year's parties in the past, and I probably will be attending / co-hosting one this year. So that is a list of all of the things I have on my winter bucket list. Hopefully this was inspiring to you guys to find an activity for you to try this upcoming holiday and winter season. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know in the comments down below if I should do one in the next couple months that will be focused on springtime activities. But that is going to be it for me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing if you aren't already. Consider following me on the Storygraph or on my Bookstagram, which are both linked in the description. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!